La Familia Perfecta, or The Perfect Family, is a Spanish language film that is dubbed in English on Netflix. And this sounded really interesting, and I'm pleased to say that having watched it, I liked it. In some ways, I liked it more than I thought I would. In some ways, I feel like it fell a little bit flat, so I think it depends on what you're looking for. This was released originally in 2021, and we have the perspective mother of the groom, Lucia, who is not very happy when her son announces that he is getting married to a girl that she hasn't even met, or at least she doesn't think she has met her. And the girl he is going to be marrying is not from their class of people, to put it politely, whereas they are well educated, very posh, sophisticated, they have some money. Her son's fiance is from a very polite, very relatively well-spoken family, very close-knit family, but they're not exactly the same caliber of people. Lucia basically freaked out when they started to cut a cake with a butter knife, and that kind of shows you how Lucia's priorities are not perhaps in the right place. But as the film progresses, we see them planning the wedding, and the differences between the two families are very apparent. But Lucia begins to realize that maybe the opposite family is not everything that they seem to be. And particularly the father. She starts to spend a lot of time with him, and you can kind of see herself questioning her own life, her own marriage, and if it is this perfect existence that she wants, because she has to have everything to be perfect. And from the outside, it seems like she does have the perfect life. She has the perfect fashion, the perfect appearance. Her hair is immaculate, her makeup's immaculate. She carries herself very well, she speaks very well. But when it comes down to it, are the people in her life the people she needs? And I think it's a comedy. It's meant to be a comedy, and I do think it's quite funny. Most of the time, there are lines in this, particularly when they're sampling the menu. I thought that was quite entertaining, quite well delivered, and very well acted. That worked quite well. But at the same time, once Lucia as a character starts to go through some really good character development, and once we actually get to see a bit more of a serious, well, no, not a serious side to her, because she's very serious and straight-laced in general. I guess once the narrative gets a bit more serious and she starts to let her hair down a little bit more, and we start to see her questioning her own happiness and her own life and her own marriage, the comedy does slip. And that's not necessarily something that should be the case, because it is marketed as a straight-up comedy, not a comedy drama or dramedy. But I did find that it wasn't as funny. But because I was emotionally invested in Lucia as a character, I found Lucia to be fascinating. I wanted the best for her, which is not my initial impression, and I think that's the point. When we first meet her, she does seem very full of herself, very egotistical maybe, definitely not with her priorities in the right places. She wants her son to be happy, but she wants him to be happy the way she wants him to live his life. And that obviously makes her a very antagonistic character. But as she goes on this journey and we get to follow her on this journey, I really warmed to her very quickly, and I really enjoyed it. With regards to the dubbing, you forget that it's being dubbed. It's very well done. Obviously, if you stare at the characters' mouths the whole time, yes, you're going to be aware of it, but I don't think it's something that comes across as ever being a problem. To be honest, I don't even mind foreign language films that aren't dubbed, as long as they have subtitles. But I know some people prefer them to be dubbed, and that's fair enough if you prefer them to be dubbed in English. I'm not sure if Netflix actually gives you the option to listen to it in the original Spanish language with subtitles, because I think I would have preferred that, to be perfectly honest. I don't know if that's a thing. If you know if that's a feature, please let me know, because I will probably forget for the next time I watch a dubbed foreign language film on Netflix. But I'd like to think that that's an option. But La Familia Perfecta is something that I found to be very entertaining to begin with, and then very thought-provoking as it got deeper into the narrative, and specifically centering around Lucia's character. It's not perfect, it's not laugh-a-minute, but I did enjoy it. I found the pacing to be really good. It didn't spend too much time on any one thing, but gave us enough time to process things. I thought the characters were all really great, very well developed. Not the best film I've ever seen, but at the same time, I enjoyed the time I spent watching it. And if you're looking for a film that's maybe not completely an easy watch, but it's generally light-hearted with a little bit more serious peppered in, La Familia Perfecta or The Perfect Family is a pretty good choice to go with.